Hey there, I'm Kit Lyle with the Operators. Welcome. If you're a potential private equity backed executive, an operator in career transition, if you're looking for your next assignment in a portfolio company, there's some things to think about before you take that opportunity. So it starts with sort of some tests. I call it the 6-part test to evaluate private equity groups. Now, this is kind of an unusual concept because you're like, hey, I have an opportunity, I want to seize it. But it may not be the best fit for you. So some things to think about. The fund. What's the life cycle of the fund? Where do they stand? Are they in, year 3? Or is the fund kind of at the very end? The earlier, the better. How much fundraising have they been successful with? How consistent are their LPs? So you're basically evaluating the success and the history and the stage and status of the fund itself. So that's number one. Secondly, you want to start thinking about the company itself. So if you're in line to become the CEO of one particular company, you want to understand where that company stands. What's been the track record? Was it just acquired? Or is it kind of at year 4 and there are problems? It's a very different situation to kind of walk into. How much wiggle room is there in the budget? Are they breaking covenants and barely profitable? Or is there a lot of profitability and then therefore there's room for potential investments? And how does that fit in with kind of the problems that you solve for and the situations that you are most effective in working in? So evaluate the company in terms of its standing in its market, external standing, internal people, but also the financials of the business and the health of the company and where it stands relative to fund expectations. Next is a value creation test. So if you know that this particular company is expected to create value through operational improvement, for example, and that's really not your bailiwick, you're more of a commercial growth person, maybe that's cause for pause because maybe that's not your domain, and maybe even if you took the assignment, maybe it wouldn't be as successful. So think about your skills and experiences and think about the needs of this particular company. You want it to be the right fit for them, but also for yourself. Consider the operating team. If the fund is large enough to have an operating partner or a complete operating team, how many resources do you have available? How comfortable are you with the operating partner that you would be assigned? What is their level of authority? Do you report to them, or are they just sort of whisperers and wise old sages who provide advice and mentorship? So that's something to think about. The exit path. How clear is that path from where you are today in that company to where the business needs to be? What's the delta, and how comfortable do you feel in getting the business from where it is today to where it needs to be, that exit path? And the last step is the qualitative test of the opportunity, the company, but more importantly of the fund. So what do people say about it? What do other CEOs say about that particular fund? Talk to CEOs who've worked there previously. Talk to CEOs who work for that fund today. Talk to lenders. Talk to mezzanine lenders. Talk to investment bankers. Talk to employees, et cetera, et cetera. So you want to get a 360-degree perspective on that particular fund before you accept an opportunity and offer, right? So essentially, you're doing yourself a favor by determining how strong a fit you are for that particular situation and how attractive that situation actually is for you. So that's it. Thanks for watching. I'm Kit Lyle from The Operators.